Thanks, Michael. It certainly is a terrific setting. Back in July when these teams last met, Croke Park was only about a quarter full. But look at it now. And you won't find too many spaces in today's crowd of over 80,000 people. It's hard to beat the atmosphere of a hurling final. It's a match which has received lavish advance billing. Being the first time, of course, since 2008 that it's not Kilkenny versus Tipperary. I guess hurling fans probably welcome a change as Galway become Kilkenny's 7th different final opponents in the Brian Cody era, stretching back some 14 years. We're all familiar with the Cats doing 2 in a row or 3 in a row or even 4 in a row, but not everyone under 30 can remember the last time Galway were the All-Ireland champions. 24 years ago, the Olympics were about to be staged in Seoul. Ray Houghton had already put the ball in the back of the English net. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was in the cinemas. Enya was top of the charts, and a pint of stout would have cost you the equivalent of $1.80. It was 1988. Can Galway do it today? It's a big ask, Michael.
It's a big ask, but I think they'll have to take confidence from the Leinster final. They were superb that day. It was no fluke. People say Kilkenny maybe took them for granted, they weren't ready, but Galway produced a fantastic display. And you go back to 2010 when Kilkenny were beaten by Tipperary. It was pace, it was power, it was orchestrated game plan that day by Liam Sheedy, where they moved the Kilkenny backs all over the place and took them on, and that's what they're going to be trying to do today. And if there is any chink in Kilkenny, they're on the road a long time. Some of their players, it's not so much that they're very old, but they have huge mileage on the clock. And if Galway can stay in this game early on, that's the big concern I have. I think Kilkenny will go looking for goals early on. And if Galway, I think they'll have to be a little bit negative early, drop someone, maybe an extra man back around the back line and try to keep it tight early, stay in the game as long as they can, and then try to, use their maybe youth and pace and fitness later on in the game. But look, it is a big ask. This is a great Kilkenny team. We all know that. 9 All-Ireland finals now they're going for in the last 12 years. Brian Cody and Henry Shefflin, the two key men, have been, I think this is their 61st game, and neither of them has missed. Henry Shefflin has started every single championship game since Brian Cody took over in 1999. That's a phenomenal record. So they have all the men out in the field. It's all about new players coming through, and I'm looking forward as usual every All-Ireland final. Who is the man that's going to do it? It's nearly always someone that you don't expect that pops up to be the match winner, but it'll take a huge effort from Galway, there's no doubt. And I'm hoping it's going to be a close game, a cracker, and that let the best team win, as they say.
Galway have won the toss. They will play from left to right in the first half, defending the goal down at Hill 16 on a perfect afternoon. The sun is trying to break through the clouds. The decibel level rises the whole time. There's a great sense of the expectation here. Hearts are beating a little faster. There's that kind of gladiatorial feeling about Croke Park. Galway have known for weeks that if they were to win the All-Ireland, they would have to beat Kilkenny twice. But the champions will be hell-bent on retaining their title.
Stand for a moment as a mark of respect for Tomás Murphy, chairperson of the
Before we get underway, there is a moment's silence, a minute's silence for Tomás Murphy, the chairperson of the GAA Child Welfare and Protection Appeals Committee, and Tommy Kelly as well, Galway All-Ireland team of 1955 and 1958.
He was from the Munich Airport.
And now, after that minute's silence, everyone facing the tricolour, and the Artane band will play our national anthem, our own Avian. It's a highly charged and emotional occasion. It always is. Past records count for nothing as we approach 3:30 on All-Ireland final day. And now it's about producing your best form right here, right now. Barry Kelly is in charge, the man from Westmeath. As in the Leinster final, Galway are going to play from left to right for the opening half, hoping history will repeat itself. Barry Kelly just wanting the midfielders back in the middle and wants everybody else out of the zone between the two 65s. Match finally gets underway, and straight away it's Kilkenny with Brian Hogan across at left half back, trying to swing on that one. Ball still in play. JJ Delaney has moved out of position. A lot of switches and changes all over the park. For instance, I've noticed that Cyril Donnellan's got in towards an inside forward line, which includes David Burke, being marked by Tommy Welch and by Paul Murphy. Line ball which TJ Reid's preparing to take. He was hampered by a shoulder injury in the last fortnight or so. That's a poor one. Straight to David Collins, very number 7 this afternoon. Back once again towards Brian Hogan, back in the middle this time. Diagonally across here, in over the head there of Colin Fennelly. Picked up by Johnny Cohen. He cleared an awful lot of ball in the Leinster final. This time it comes straight here to Jackie Tyrrell, meant to be left corner back. But I think it's one of those days when the numbers will not reflect where the players are going to be playing. Exactly.
As I said in the scene set, the Kilkenny half forward and full forward line have switched. TJ Reid started out, has gone in now towards the full forward, and it looked like he was going to play out the field. Johnny Cohen staying inside, and as you say, Kilkenny gone man for man. Tommy Walsh gone and Cyril Donnellan. JJ Delaney has picked up Joe Canning. You have Kieran Joyce on James Regan. So nothing we didn't expect, and they'll be moving around all over the place as the game goes on.
Richie Power didn't have the best of times in the quarter-final against Limerick with the first few frees. Let's see how that does here. Held on to just about and then lost by Tony O'Gregan. Picked up here by Henry Shefflin, hoping to impose himself. Iarla Tanyan was after him, and Iarla Tanyan's got it. 20 metres out from his own goal. Helped out here by David Collins. Swept away by Damien Hayes, operating around midfield right from the outset here. That's brilliantly taken by Tommy Walsh. Slipping the little hand pass here to Paul Murphy. Both of them back there around their own full back line. Comes to Walsh, thought about drop hitting it, finally fires it a good 50 metres back down the park. Across again goes Iarla Tanyan here. Gets there first. Colin Fennelly now playing the little hand pass off to Richie Hogan, steadies himself. Hogan trying to get the opening point of this match, but he's put it to the right of the post, and he's missed the opportunity of doing that.
Yeah, Ger, what a frantic start. Some great tackling. What a catch here by Tommy Walsh going backwards, but the pressure straight away on by the Galway forwards and put them under fierce pressure to clear it. Iarla Tanyan down injured. There seems to have taken a fairly heavy knock.
But you can see from the word go there, as we look at Iarla Tanyan seek some medical help, that Kilkenny are trying to impose themselves on this match from the outset this time and not suffer a repeat of what happened here in the Leinster final.
Yeah, Richie Hogan pulling there, good bit away from the ball as well, and got him across the ankle. And there's Iarla Tanyan with the hurling. Clean, great dispossession of Henry Shefflin there, and the minute he got the ball he was surrounded, and that's what Galway are going to try to bring, that fierce energy and power to the game, and they know they have the younger legs, so but as you say, Kilkenny will be looking steady start and not to be, Galway were out of sight after 15 or 20 minutes in the Leinster final, so they don't want that to happen today.
Tanyan back into midfield again there with Andy Smith, and of course Damien Hayes round about the midfield zone as well. Was that out over the line? It was, by David Burke. And David Burke can plead his case here with the linesman Dermot Kerwin, the linesman on this near side. Here he is, just stepped out and over. Tom Helibert there, one of the selectors in the background. Line ball to Kilkenny, awaiting the opening score of this match. Almost 4 minutes gone. Paul Murphy. Kilkenny's today seeking a 34th All-Ireland title. Held on there by Henry Shefflin, and he was being fouled. Fergal Moore got him.
Yeah, great catch there by Henry Shefflin, and this is something, that matchup, Henry Shefflin is probably 3-4 inches taller than Fergal Moore, and you can see him there, great catch, and Fergal just got tangled up with him.
So it's going to be Henry Shefflin who will take this one. Richie Power had the first one of the match. Henry with 27 goals, 459 points in a wonderful career, and that's a very positive start for him. and Kilkenny are away and leading in this match. 4.5 minutes are gone. Well, very often Henry Shefflin goes in to pick up somebody that the manager would feel is perhaps vulnerable in the opposing full back line. It's interesting that he's been marked by Fergal Moore, who is perhaps one of the more experienced members of that back line. Puck out by James Skehill. Up into the air went Cyril Donnellan. Breaks down for Damien Hayes. Onto it straight away. Trying to be a major factor in this match. That's Tony O'Gregan. Up towards Joe Canning. Trying to get on the ball early on, but look at the number of Kilkenny players surrounding him immediately, and one of them, Paul Murphy, coming across. He was being fouled, and it's going to be a free out for Kilkenny. Kilkenny mean business.
Yeah, they do indeed. And you know, I think what this man marking job gives Kilkenny, we saw it against Tipperary last year and this year in the semi-final, it gives them a focus straight away. In the Leinster final, they didn't know who they were picking up, they were beaten. Now they just have a man to mark, stay with him, and straight away you can see the Kilkenny backs are much more comfortable.
At the moment it is Joe Canning and it is James Regan who are in the inside forward line. They've been switching that around a little bit since the start of this match, keeping Kilkenny's backs on their toes. Richie Power under hitting this one. Johnny Cohen comes across, stands his ground there against TJ Reid, who's moved into the inside forward line from the very beginning of this match. Sent forward here towards David Burke on his hands and knees. Henry Shefflin back helping out. Paul Murphy, it's a real feature of Henry's play, the hard work he puts in. Up towards TJ Reid, runs on there. And that's Niall Donoghue coming across, facing his own end line. The one thing a back does not want to be doing, and he's carried it out over the end line. It's got to be a 65 for Kilkenny. Really good probing ball, that.
Absolutely, and Neil Donoghue did well. He got it away from the danger area, and we saw Johnny Cohen before that sweeping across, and he's been a key man, and he's going to have to, you know, I think cover. Kevin Hines has no experience really at top inter-county level at full back, just apart from the last couple of games. So Johnny Cohen's pace is really vital in there.
So once again, it's Henry Shefflin, the man who's on the threshold of history if Kilkenny win this title. 1 point already from a free. This is the 65 now, and a pretty calm afternoon. What breeze there is blowing behind Kilkenny for the first half, and Henry has put this one away to the left-hand side, and it's another missed opportunity. 2 wides now by Kilkenny.
Yeah, I think it's calm down on pitch side, but there's a swirling wind as there always is in Croke Park, and you see the flags high up are really buffeting around, and Henry definitely caught out there.
It is very deceptive. James Skehill trying to place his puck out now towards the centre forward Niall Burke, who's so good in the air. But Paul Murphy has gathered another one and cleared it back down once again. In there into that danger zone. Owen Larkin's in there, so too was Kevin Hines, and Hines was being fouled. And that will do his confidence a lot of good to win that ball between himself and the very dangerous Owen Larkin.
Absolutely, Jerry, I agree with you. I think Owen Larkin very, very strong in the air, and Kevin Hines would be delighted just to get on the ball early and win a free out there.
Larkin had a wonderful league final, of course, way back along, beginning of May against Cork, but hasn't been quite as prominent since, although that goal he got against Tipperary in the semi-final would have been a big boost to his confidence. That's a huge run up towards Cyril Donnellan, breaking it down, but there's nobody into it immediately. Galway trying to work hard, trying to get the possession, finally winning it. Joe Canning back there. Struck, this time by Andy Smith, and over the bar. Big, huge cheer. There's an enormous crowd from Galway at this final, and the teams are level a point apiece with 8 minutes gone.
Yeah, and that's a huge score. You know, it's taken 8 minutes, and Andy Smith, not one of the more noted men for scoring for Galway, took on the responsibility there in a super score off his right hand side.
Yeah, he's only got a goal and 2 up to this in this year's championship.
Well, that might be one of the most important scores he ever gets, because you know it settles the team down.
David Herity all the way down through the centre towards Richie Power, breaks loose, however. A real scrap for it in there. Eventually it's Niall Donoghue once again. Plucky player, blocked down this time by Richie Hogan. Into it immediately came some resources there from Tony O'Gregan, and the reinforcements didn't get that ball away as they should have done so. It's back in by Kieran Joyce, probing ball in there, but straight to James Skehill. Skehill can steady himself here and drive it huge distance way up the field. And interesting that Damien Hayes has moved into the inside forward line just to try and help James Regan here, trying to get it up onto his stick, pursued by Brian Hogan. It's Regan off as far as Canning, looking for latitude. He's made a lot of ground. He's scored a wonderful goal. How did he do that? It's brought the stadium to life. 10 minutes are gone, and Joe Canning has hit in his 16th ever championship goal.
And Joe, what a goal, a great run by James Regan. But look at this after with Joe Canning. brilliant touch, great vision, and buried in the back of the net. What a goal, an absolute brilliant goal, and a great player on a big day, and that's really now, that's the start that Galway wanted. What a goal.
Well, that is an early statement of intent by Joe Canning and by Galway. 1-1 to a point, they lead.
And that all came about. Kieran Joyce hit an aimless ball into the full back line, into the full forward line, and James Skehill was given all the time in the world. He launched the ball 100 yards down the field, ended up in the back of the net.
David Herity pucking it out, right down to the middle again. An attempt at pucking that one by David Collins came to naught, but it comes back out as far as David Burke. And that goal should settle Galway. Up as far as Cyril Donnellan here. Two players going for it. Damien Hayes has it. That's under hit. Straight to Herity. About to be challenged here by Niall Burke. Stands his ground. Gets it out as far as Brian Hogan. Into the middle of the field. Intended there for Richie Hogan, but it's cut out instead by Joe Canning. He moved from full forward into midfield, and he's got another one. A score, a point by Joe Canning. A goal and a point now, as Galway lead by 1-2 to a point.
Yeah, early stages, Gerard, but missed clearance there by Brian Hogan, and Joe Canning, just after scoring the goal, just drifted back out the field. I think that was marginal. I think that could have been wide, looking at the replay.
Well, they got away with it, and Kilkenny now trying to assert themselves again here. TJ Reid, their only score so far has come from a free by Henry Shefflin. Back to Richie Power, back now as far as the other Richie Hogan. And Richie Hogan has sent it flying away to the right-hand side, and another one has gone wide. And the huge Galway following here in Croke Park this afternoon, really enjoying this, and they've certainly enjoyed that goal there after 10 minutes of play by the great Joe Canning, only 23 years of age.
Just makes it look so easy, a brilliant finish into the net, and the run he made, you can see there the Galway subs getting in behind it, and Galway will be delighted that they're creating that space now already around the field.
There's a great sense of togetherness among the Galway squad. David Collins trying to place it, playing it right half back as he's been doing for most of this championship, wearing number 7, and the referee saw a foul there, and it's going to be a free for Galway, and Michael Fennelly with a puzzled look at his face.
Just the arm in there, yeah, sometimes you get away with them, but Cyril Donnellan brave, down in the ball and won the free.
And this free will once again be taken by Joe Canning as the players take on some water. But that goal has certainly set up this final. Galway trying to do what they did in the Leinster final, come out, get in some early scores in the first half, get some confidence, get a lot of momentum going. This is a very difficult free, but this is a very good free taker. Joe Canning hitting it. He's measured it well, but he's put it to the right, marginally so. And a disappointed Anthony Cunningham just looks away. Disappointment.
Yeah, difficult first free, as you said, it's well out the field, but still Joe Canning makes them look easy most of the time, so he'd be disappointed with that.
David Herity in there between Richie Power and Tony O'Gregan. Across here comes David Collins. Up along towards David Burke. Switching positions here, trying to take it was James Regan, battling in there with Paul Murphy once again, and Murphy goes down, fouled, free to Kilkenny. Chance to take a bit of pressure off their defence. They need a couple of scores. There are nearly 13 minutes gone. They've only got 1 point.
Exactly, just David Burke, a little trip there, very little in it, but you'd have to say the movement of Galway is causing havoc. Their defence, David Collins has been on the ball 2 or 3 times, Johnny Coe, Neil Donoghue, all started very, very well, and their constant movement is just upsetting the Kilkenny lads. They're not letting them settle on the ball, and they're going to be very, very happy with the start.
Well, Richie Power, I wonder will he go for a point from here or try to lob it in? He's inside his own 65-metre line. It's travelling, but it's travelling somewhat inaccurately, and another one has been missed. That's, I think, 3 frees so far, missed by Kilkenny. Richie's missed 2 of them.
Yeah, it's a slow start for Kilkenny, and they're under pressure already. I know it's early days, but 4 points down after 13 minutes, a great start by Galway.
James Skehill from Capitagal, ready to pocket back out into the centre again. Trying to measure where he's placing the ball. Almost 10 minutes gone since Kilkenny got their one and only score. That's up there as far as Cyril Donnellan. Knocked away. Picked up beautifully by Niall Burke. And again, he was about to be hoofed there, and the defence came in en masse and made it difficult for Burke. He's only 21 years of age. Player whose first 2 shots got first 2 points in 4 minutes in the start of the Leinster final.
Yeah, and interesting, I think David Burke, who to me has been maybe Galway's most consistent player all year. James Skehill is looking for him on the puckouts. He's on Paul Murphy, and he's strong in the air, and I'm a bit surprised Tommy Walsh isn't out there and let Paul Murphy pick up Cyril Donnelly nearer to the goals. Tommy doesn't look that comfortable in there.
By comparison, the Kilkenny puckouts have been looking for Richie Power. He's been marked by Tony O'Grega. There's won a few of those. This is good. This is TJ Reid. Left it behind there, but the referee's whistle has gone for a drag down, and it's going to be a free in for Kilkenny and a free from the 20-metre line. Take a look at this again.
Yeah, great catch by TJ Reid. I think he was definitely fouled there, but I think the ref was letting him go and he lost possession and he blew the whistle maybe a little bit late. But this is the danger. Kilkenny are very, very strong in the air in there, and a good catch by TJ Reid.
Well, standing over this one is Henry Shefflin. His team 1-2 to a point down. Would he possibly, or will he be just content with a point?
I think they need the point at this stage just to keep them in it.
He's gone for it. It's a 65. He was having a go.
And he didn't shape like he was going to go for the cut. Definitely caught me by surprise up here.
You never know with Henry.
It's a big 65 now after going for the goal there. He'll need to put this over.
Henry, with 27 championship goals to his credit already, was looking for another one here. And in the end, it was Fergal Moore who got his stick down to it, was anticipating that he just might have tried it. So from the 65.
Might have been David Collins, I'm not sure they knew much about it, but it hit someone and went out for 65, and a good break for Galway.
Henry Shefflin hits it to the left, and it hasn't started well at all for Kilkenny. This is a very poor start. They looked in the opening minute or two like they were going to impose their will on the game and send out a message to Galway that we're not going to be bossed around second time in the championship.
Yeah, it's more their own. It's not really Galway are playing their own game. Have scored 1-2, which is fine after 15 minutes. But Kilkenny are just, having a few very, very bad wides, and they looked very, very tense out there. 5
wide so far for Kilkenny. Back they come again, or attempt to do so there. That was Tommy Walsh. Anthony Cunningham just with some words of advice there for Andy Smith in midfield, holding his position. It was interesting in the last game between the two teams that Kilkenny were the ones who lost their shape that day. They didn't hold their lines at all. That's Michael Fennelly this time. He was missing that Leinster final. This is cut out by Fergal Moore. Swiftly into the forwards it goes. In there towards James Regan, runs on. Paul Murphy back. And a very, very smart delivery back into the forwards towards TJ Reid, moved across. Here's Kevin Hines, hasn't been under too much pressure so far. Straight to Jackie Tyrrell, took it down in commanding fashion. Regan's after him. Hand pass slipped inside here as far as Aidan Fogarty, haven't seen much of him so far. Nicely out as far as Richie Hogan. Here's a chance of a score. From the angle, Richie Hogan puts it over the bar. And that'll do Kilkenny a lot of good. It's their first point to come from open play, and it's taking nearly 17.5 minutes.
Yeah, it was a very good score. If you look here, when Aidan Fogarty got the ball, there was a wall of 4 or 5 Galway men in front of him, but he slipped it out to Richie Hogan, and smart finishing over the bar, and Galway, or Kilkenny, really needed that score.
Has the game panned out in the opening 18 minutes the way you thought it might?
It's just, to me, it's lacking a little bit of passion. I think there's an awful lot of tension out there, and I think Galway will be happier the way the thing has gone so far.
Brian Hogan under this, but he's beaten for it in the air by the marvellous Niall Burke. Burke is so good with his hands, getting up there ahead of Brian Hogan, and that's an important one to win. Then the foul occurred, and then Galway awarded the free in.
That's a huge catch. It's a huge catch. You don't see Brian Hogan beaten in the air. He's 6'4" or 5, and a great catch by Niall Burke. And so far Galway are winning those little crucial battles. Kevin Hines at full back, and you see Niall Burke there, David Burke. They're all playing very, very well so far.
This will be a first pointed free by Joe Canning if he gets it, and he does from some 25 metres out. Could hardly miss. And now he's made it 1-3 to 2 points, and it's been a really, really good start for Galway. They'll be confident heading into the rest of the match. But they would want to be wary, because this is Kilkenny they're up against. The best team we have seen. Caught in midfield here by Iarla Tanyan. Back into the inside forwards it comes. Running away here, and Joe Canning after it quickly. JJ Delaney's his marker. Lots of speculation beforehand as to how he might do against JJ. He's done really well here, but his finish has left him down, and that's untypical.
No, that was a great piece of play by Joe. He's going to be so disappointed, a bit like the free. Won a great ball, just rounded JJ as if he wasn't there, and you'd expect him. Look at this, a beautiful turn here, and headed for the goals, did everything right, and a poor finish.
Has to be said, we don't know how the game is going to pan out, but this Kilkenny team has been on the road a long time. They have a lot of experience. Galway are a younger side. David Burke And this time the referee has seen something off the ball involving Joe Canning and JJ Delaney, and he's racing in there to have words, and it's with JJ Delaney, and the fullback from Fenians indicted here, and a note being taken of his name. Didn't see any card being issued. It's going to be a free in, and Barry Kelly from Westmeath, the teacher in Barr, County Offaly, laying down the law early on here.
Yeah, and Jerry, you saw the link play there again. David Burke onto the breaking ball in the middle of the field, which he's done brilliantly all year, and then a great ball in front of Joe Canning. JJ Delaney pulled him down off the ball, free in, and you know, Kilkenny, to me, what I'm surprised with, more, you asked me to pan out the way, what I'm really surprised with, no Kilkenny forward is getting the better of their man at this stage, and you'd imagine on paper they look so strong, but the Galway backs are all over them at the moment.
And that is another one for Joe Canning. Well, he's just one of two scorers. Andy Smith getting the other point for them, the opening point of the match for Galway from play. So 1-4 to 2 points, so far so good, with 20 minutes gone here in this All-Ireland hurling final. David Herity. There was a call there, I think, by Fergal Moore, and the ball came back to him, onto Tony O'Gregan, who clears a pile of ball in every match he plays. That was Damien Hayes who left it behind. This is Jackie Tyrrell, blocked down by Irla Tanyan. Jackie goes again. Very strong. Tanyan went after him. Hayes is there as well. It slipped out as far as Aidan Fogarty. Fogarty trying to go by Tony O'Gregan, out on the sideline. He hits it, and he's hit it wide, and all of that because of the very good pressure being exerted by the Galway backs.
Absolutely. We saw Irla Tanyan first put in a couple of great tackles. Great block down there on Jackie Tyrrell, and then you saw Tony O'Gregan, and that's about the third occasion we've seen Kilkenny shooting from right out at the sideline. Normally they're going up the middle. Here's Irla Tanyan again, great block down, and you know, Galway are forcing them wide. There's a blanket defence there, and their tactics are working out brilliantly so far.
From this puck out, again it's caught superbly by Niall Burke. What a start to the match he's after making. Brilliant play by Niall Burke, and he fires it over, and it's now 1-5 to 2 points. It's a dream start for the tribesmen, the outsiders in the minds of so many people. What a catch, what a finish.
Absolutely brilliant, and you know, he's capable of doing that. He had 3 wides against Cork in the first half, ended up scoring a couple of points in the second half, and a great score there again.
I mean, Brian Cody did counsel against anybody saying that Kilkenny were going to blow Galway out of the water, as they say nowadays, and he's proved quite correct. Galway are up for this, and they are standing shoulder to shoulder with Kilkenny. They're not going to be overawed. Absolutely not. They're dominating the game at the moment, and you know, Kilkenny have had a few wides, but as I say, there were pressure wides from way out the field, and Galway well on top. Irla Tanyan about to hit this sideline ball. Still inside his own 65-metre line. Not a great connection. It's Owen Larkin, who is the team captain for Kilkenny, who is deemed to have gone in over the side there, it seems, and fouled. Really worth looking at again. Yeah, Owen Larkin won the ball there, went into contact. In against David Collins, and the referee says deliberately pulled him down. Yeah, you know, he did pull him down. He put the arm in around the back, and good call by Barry Kelly. John Canning has gone way out here to take this free. That's where the teams run out when the dressing room is across in the Cusack stand are being used, so that's an indication of how far from the target he is. Can he make it? He's done well so far, and this time the umpire goes across rather leisurely and finally waves it wide. He's been very ambitious with some of those long range frees. Would it have been better maybe to drop it in and give the forwards a chance? Well, if it was, he'd stay in there himself. That's 2 frees now, very difficult ones, but on his day he can score, and he also missed one from play, so Galway could be further ahead. Reid has done well here. 45 metres out, swinging around, and that's a beautiful score by TJ Reid to settle Kilkenny and put them right back into the contest again. 5 points the margin. TJ Reid's first. Yeah, and Kilkenny hanging in there, but TJ Reid is brilliant at that. A great catch, and he turned back onto his left side and over the bar. Great score. Only 3 scores so far. A point from a free by Henry Shefflin, 1 from play by Richie Hogan, and 1 from TJ Reid there just immediately. It comes back once again to James Regan, back as far as Damien Hayes. Slipped inside here, and this time Niall Burke needed an extra second to try and get onto it, but Regan has read the flight of the ball there, about to be surrounded by Kilkenny players. One of them is Richie Hogan. Hogan gets it away, it's swiftly into the forwards. 3 full forwards in there to challenge for it, out by Fergal Moore, out as far as David Collins. 2 players have soldiered long and hard in the colours of Galway over the years, not always with the greatest of success. On as far as David Burke here, trying to sweep inside, but it's Paul Murphy who robs it from him, gets it out here, out as far as Richie Hogan, and Hogan from deep inside his own half of the field sets Kilkenny back into the attack again, or at least he would hope to think so. But Galway's backs with Kevin Hines there, looking back towards his own end line, slips the little hand pass back out towards Johnny Cohen, stands his ground, darts off, Colin Fennelly's after him, ball intercepted in flight, and Fennelly's gone chasing after it. Shows the work rate, shows the intent in these Kilkenny players. They don't want to be beaten today. TJ Reid takes the pass but fires it away to the right hand side and misses the opportunity of getting a second point in the space of about 3 minutes.
Yeah, great passage to play, I think there. No score at the end of it, but you saw Fergal Moore winning a great ball. Here's James Regan there now, and lovely hook coming in there, but just great passage to play. Paul Murphy dispossessed David Burke. He could have been in on goal, and ball up and down the field, but again the pressure on the Kilkenny forwards, and a bad wide by TJ Reid.
Those close-up pictures are absolutely brilliant. Really get to see what's happening down there in the thick of the action as Niall Burke goes racing through. Boot used, the referee has indicated. Free in. Tommy Welch is having a look at the referee and pleadingly indicating that he doesn't think it should have been a free.
I think he dived in here. If you watch here, he came across in under him. He was going for the ball, but again, I'd say he knew what he was doing there, and marginal call, but Barry Kelly has given it to Galway, and an easy free for Joe Canning this time.
He's got a goal and 3 so far, 2 of the points coming from frees. This one's about 30 metres out. Shouldn't be any trouble, and isn't. And everything going to plan so far for Joe Canning, for Galway, for the team manager Anthony Cunningham. They lead by 1-6 to 3 points.
And unusually, Brian Hogan's in big trouble at centre back. Niall Burke is causing him havoc with his running off the ball, and a lot of ball coming through there. Tommy Walsh is isolated in at full back, so this famous half back line that set up so many attacks, they're completely out of the game, and brilliant by Galway. They're very, very happy to have Tommy Walsh in at full back, marking Cyril Donlan, suits them down to the ground.
Yeah, with their positioning, Galway have actually won the mind game here, because Kilkenny have been forced to reposition.
Well, you have a half back line now, Paul Murphy, Brian Hogan and Jackie Turles. The 2 cornerbacks are at wing back, and both Kieran Joyce and Tommy Walsh gone out of the half back line.
And look at the eagerness with which Andy Smith went after that to get there ahead of Michael Fennelly, who was expected to exert a big physical influence in midfield, and it hasn't materialised so far. What has materialised is that Galway are setting up chances. Smith again, this time it's Niall Donoghue, and Donoghue hits a beauty! First ever time to score in the championship. 21-year-old Niall Donoghue from Kilbeakenty gets his first point and makes it 1-7 to 3 points.
Well, this guy has had a brilliant year for me. He's been outstanding every game, and the composure there for a young player on the ball. Maybe thought he was going to be hooked the first time, took it back on the stick and then straight over the bar.
There was a push there, and it's going to be a free against Kilkenny, and their discipline letting them down here. I think we will see at Cyril Italian that's on the ground right now, once again requiring some attention. He was in the wars earlier on. Dan Murphy, the team doctor, is out to attend to him, and also the physio there, Jerry O'Reilly. There was a push, as I saw it, as the ball was in the air, and the referee saw that and immediately blew against Kilkenny.
I can see there it was Aidan Fogarty coming in right over the top, pushed his helmet down over his face, and definitely a free to Galway.
I know Kilkenny are trying to work their way into this game, and they're eager to try and get possession, set up opportunities, but they've got to retain their composure, their discipline. There's a long, long way to go in this All-Ireland final. And
as you said earlier, Joe Canning not coming out this time. Tony O'Gregan taking this, and hopefully he doesn't poke it wide from out there. If he lets it in around the square, there's danger there.
From inside his own 65. Oh, he's gone for it, and really I thought he was going to try and lob it into the square.
Yeah, well, if you're going to go for a score, Joe Canning is the man. He's the most accurate player. He can get the distance, but if he was going to stay in there, you have to be lobbing the ball in there. So,
well, that counts as a misjudgment on the part of Tony O'Gregan. Don't forget that tonight we have the Sunday game program, 9:30, a big special program with Des Cahill and the panel. Will be up the Victor's Hotel. But which hotel will it be? Will it be the Galway Hotel? Will it be Kilkenny's? 9:30 Sunday game. Right now, It's Kilkenny who are trying to work themselves back into it with Owen Larkin. Lovely stylish play, eased his way into the shot there, got the point. Always a potential match winner, Owen Larkin. The 28-year-old from James Stevens here glided that one over the bar, and now it's 1-7 to 4 points.
Yeah, good score there. Tony O'Gregan out in front of Henry Shefflin, but he miscontrolled the ball, and once Henry got it, he played a good low ball inside and a good finish. But Kilkenny are just living off scraps at the moment. Galway are all over them. I think Kilkenny will be happy enough only to be 6 points behind.
Well, a temporary substitution is going to have to be made, with Kevin Hines having to come off, and Anthony Cunningham is going to have to replace him very quickly. They haven't decided exactly who's going to come on just yet.
It's a blood, but he looks very, very groggy though, Jerry. I'll have to say, you can see it looks like a serious injury there under his eye.
Doesn't look nice at all for Kevin Hines, a former under-21 captain here against Galway some years ago. And this is Joseph Cooney. His dad Joe was out on the field earlier on, one of the greatest Galway players ever from that 1988 team. Good to see his son get an opportunity, but shame it should be at the expense of Kevin Hines. But he's on as a temporary sub right now. And here once again come Galway, and Damien Hayes with a jinking run. Down he went, and Kilkenny this time have seen a yellow card issued to one of their players.
JJ Delaney got it, yeah, and lovely jinking run by Damien Hayes. And he took a heavy knock to the head, a definite yellow card, and just lovely sidestep here if you watch it. Just went around him and strike down the shoulder there, and David Collins gone in full back. He has experience there. But Damien Hayes again, great awareness. He knew he was going to be hooked, and he took on his man.
Well, we know that Kilkenny in the Leinster final, Michael, did really well in the second half, but they don't want to leave themselves a big gap to try and claw back in the second 35 minutes.
Well, they don't want to, but they've no choice because Galway are just dominating this game, and at the moment Kilkenny are struggling for ideas. They're struggling to win possession from the puckouts. Galway are picking up all the breaking ball, and they're constantly on the move up front, and great work rate from everyone on the team. So very, very solid performance by Galway so far.
Absolutely. As reaching up for that one was David Collins, went to ground at the end of it, ball out over the sideline, and the linesman Diarmuid Kerwin from Cork decides that it's going to be a Galway ball, much to the annoyance there of some of the Kilkenny players. 31, nearly 32 minutes gone, and most people said it had to be Kilkenny. It simply had to be Kilkenny.
Yeah, well, look at it, a long way to go. Kevin Hines back on there now, and that looked like a nasty injury, but he's a tough bit of stuff, and he's straight back into the action.
Back in at number 3. Cut up well here by Fergal Moore. Comes down off David Burke. Intercepted by Jackie Tyrrell, former All-Ireland winning captain. Tommy Welch sends it in once again towards Aidan Fogarty. Hasn't really got on the ball very much so far. Instead, it's been the very efficient Galway defence. This time, David Collins deemed to have taken too many steps. Harsh enough call. Free in for Kilkenny. They'll take anything that is going, and Henry Shefflin will come and take the resultant free. Yeah, he did take too many steps.
He did. He took a few going back and then turned coming out. But you could even see Tommy Welch on that last ball. He was a little bit jittery, and that's what I'd say about Kilkenny. They're just not settling into the game. They're not being allowed, because the constant pace and movement of Galway is troubling them. And they're 7 points behind. This is a huge free now, and he's scored a lot of them in his time, but this is vital.
That one is inside the right-hand upright, and a second pointed free by Henry Shefflin. I can't help feeling really, Michael, but the loss to Galway 9 weeks ago has deeply affected these Kilkenny players. They're not as confident as they usually are.
Yeah, very, very heavy knock there by Kevin Hines. Colin Fennelly coming across. In fairness, all eyes on the ball, but Kevin Hines took a very, very heavy knock.
James Skehill then with 2 additional minutes about to be played at the end of the opening 35. Right now we're watching Brian Hogan on a buccaneering run through the centre. His progress halted. It's going to be a free in, and now Galway are going to be penalised for the futility of that, trying to prevent a quick free being taken by Henry Shefflin. And this free now is just outside the 45-metre line.
Yeah, well, I think Henry was playing for that. He barged into Irletanian, if you ask me, and he was playing to get that extra 10 yards.
Well, they've got it, and Henry Shefflin, who's always been a winner and wants to be a winner this afternoon, has now got 3 pointed frees, and there are 5 between them. 1-8 to 6 points as we head into the last minute of the opening 35 of regulation time.
And you can see the urgency there of Henry Shefflin. You know, he wants to get on with the play. He wants to try to lift the Kilkenny performance because it has been very, very flat.
Well, he's the one player who can probably do that. He never hides in a match. He's always there willing his team on. One of the bravest, most courageous players we've seen in a Kilkenny shirt, and also one of the most skillful. Kieran Joyce drives it diagonally across towards Colin Fennelly. Hasn't seen anything so far as the Kilkenny attack has been well marshalled.
Another free in there, Johnny Cohn. I think he's actually, is it Johnny Cohn he's calling out? He didn't go for the ball at all there. He went for the man, and Barry Kelly picked it up very, very quickly. And this is 3 points now in quick succession by Kilkenny, all from frees if Henry puts this over. And you know, just that little period coming up to half time, Galway just dipped the concentration, and straight away Kilkenny back into the game.
Yellow card for Johnny Cohen from Loughrea.
Yeah, the Galway crowd are booing there, but I think if you see it again, he didn't go for the ball at all. He went straight. I don't know how serious the contact was, but it was definitely a yellow card. So
in added time, it's Henry Shefflin ready to repeat his party piece and put it over the bar with his usual aplomb. So he's got 4 pointed frees, and those frees have been very important, and Galway now are the ones who are going to have to be disciplined at the back. They know Kilkenny are going to come at them in waves. There are now only 4 points between the teams, and this time it's Galway's confidence that might well be rocked a little bit. James Skehill taken beautifully here. And this time it's Cyril Donnellan. Hand pass beautifully forward for Andy Smith. Smith raiding, Smith firing, stopped on the line somehow by David Herity. Couldn't quite get it over. Goalkeeper needs to get the ball away, being challenged there by David Burke. Frantic challenge, scrambled away somehow. Herity still waiting for a whistle to come, and a whistle finally does come.
Yeah, it was a free, picked the ball off the ground there. He lost possession. Great tackling by David Burke. And if you just watch it here, going out along here, first of all, Andy Smith, you know, I think Jackie Turtle went the wrong side of him, maybe should try to hook him, but David Herity did very well. And just watch him here when he's going out along. David Burke just shadowed him all the way out here, never panicked, and I think he lost possession and picked the ball off the ground. And
Smith never hit it that terribly well anyway, but David Herity got down, did enough. But now it's Galway, and it's Joe Canning once again from a very, very difficult angle. He's faced some very difficult angles in this match with his frees so far. Now can he measure this one and put it inside the right hand upright? He's got it right, and that's an important score now after Kilkenny's run of points from frees. That'll settle things down for Galway as we head towards half time. And now once again there are 5 points between the teams.
You watch here the high ball in, and watch Johnny Cohn nowhere near the ball, straight down on Colin Fennelly, and picked up very well by Barry Kelly, who's having a very good game, I'd have to say. He's very, very sharp. And now it's Cohen here on that yellow card, challenged by Colin Fennelly. Still managed to get the ball away out of the sideline. Referee looks at his watch and blows for half time. It's half time in the 2012 All-Ireland Hurling final, and Joe Canning, man of the match so far, with a goal and 6 points. His goal coming after 10 minutes. Kilkenny have been sluggish. We've seen Owen Larkin get 1 point, but towards the end there we saw Henry Shefflin pounce on the mistakes being made by the Galway backs, giving away frees. Henry got 4 points. We've lots of analysis to come at half time, and a second half to look forward to, with Galway the leaders at the break by 5 points. And so as the teams head for their dressing rooms, half-time score here reads Galway 1-9, Kilkenny 7 points. Thanks, Michael. Well, we've seen Galway the better team in the first half. I'm sure that has pleased Monty Kerrins, Father Revelin and Mark, who's recovering in hospital after surgery, and in Dubai watching Conor Dunphy and Olalora Coughlin. No changes on either team. Start of the second half as Henry Shefflin plays it in here as far as Richie Power. Power takes off, tries to get right through the centre there, tries to draw the fall, and succeeds in drawing that foul. And an early opportunity now for Kilkenny to get yet another score. A yellow card there has been issued to Fergal Moore. Yeah, I think that's a harsh enough yellow card. You know, he did put the hand in over the shoulder, but Richie Power was going to ground. He had nowhere to go, you know, and it was a free, but a very, very harsh yellow card.
Henry Shefflin did try for a goal earlier on from a free around 20 metres out. This time he's quite content to put it over the bar. 5th pointed free for him. And so they've managed once again to eat into the Galway lead.
And this is the period of the game I think that Galway really have to hurl away now, because Kilkenny so many times over the years have come out at the start of the second half and started so well. We saw it the last evening against Tipperary, so this is the crucial 10 minutes now for Galway to weather the storm.
At one stage Galway led Kilkenny by 7 points in this final. Pressure on the Kilkenny backs again. Damien Hayes playing it back here towards Niall Burke, and Niall Burke with unerring accuracy puts it right over the bar, and that's a very rapid response to the point by Henry Shefflin from a free. So they go point for point then, start of the second half here of this All-Ireland final.
And that's what Damien Hayes has been doing all year. He's given that little hand pass, he's not pucking the ball in aimlessly, and a great score there by Niall Burke again, who's having a super game at centre forward.
Yeah, they're not just depending on Joe Canning and Damien Hayes, others are contributing as well. And this time in the middle of the field, it's the very hard-working Irlatania. He's having a terrific match. Injured a couple of times early on, but he's certainly worked his socks off. Out as far as Damien Hayes. Hayes with 2 Kilkenny men after him. Plays it off here as far as David Burke, looking for his first point in this match. Would be a good time to get it, but he's put it just to the left-hand side, drew it away, and it was just going offline. Stays at 110 to 8 points. Quick puck out this time as far as Jackie Tyrrell. And Jackie launches it in towards the opposing 20-metre line. Up went Tony O'Gregan, got it at the second attempt. Played it outside here as far as Fergal Moore, dragged down. Free out for Galway. Galway playing with great tenacity, great spirit, and Kilkenny having it all to do. They are 5 points behind.
Yeah, Fergal Moore having a super game there, and Tony, all their backs are well on top, and they're going to be very, very happy. Pity there that last score, David Burke, because that really epitomised Galway's play. Irlatania and Damien Hayes involved, and again, an easy enough wide at this level, and should be sticking them over the bar.
Paul Murphy couldn't get that away. Damien Hayes slips it back here as far as Andy Smith, and Andy Smith tries his luck from way out. He got a point in the first half. He had other options there. That's 7 wides now for Galway, 7 wides for Kilkenny as well. He might have played that ball in towards the square and given the other forwards a better opportunity. It stays at 110 to 8 points. David Herity's puck out. Big leap in the air here as it's batted back out here. JJ Delaney has followed Joe Canning out along the field. There was speculation as to what would happen if Big Joe went out. JJ's gone after him. This time it's Jackie Tyrrell trying to get the ball away from the Portamna player. In there as far as James Regan, and this time held off by Kieran Joyce, the 25-year-old from Rower Inishtig, Eddie Kerr's club. Big, huge clearance out of defence up towards TJ Reid. Had a good first half, had some good moments in that. But it's Niall Donoghue got a score in that first half. Poor clearance, under pressure from Owen Larkin, straight to Richie Hogan. This time trying to set up TJ Reid. They need this to go over, and TJ Reid supplies another one for Kilkenny. One in each half for the 24-year-old from Ballyhale Shamrocks.
Yeah, lovely little ball there by Richie Hogan. Really should have been cleared up the field by Neil Donoghue when he got possession, and TJ Reid, who has been consistent since the start. He's got a couple of nice points now.
Well, once again, Irlatania is in the wars here, and indications there from Matty Kenny, one of the selectors, that he might not be able to continue, and that would be a big loss, because since his move into midfield on the part of the manager and Anthony Cunningham, it has been a big success story playing Irlatanian out there. He's certainly been one of the big pluses this year. Joseph Cooney being prepared, but Tanyan wants to continue.
Well, I think it's the way he's been playing, Jerry. He's thrown himself headlong into every single ball. That really was a ball that he'd no right to get involved in, and he threw his body in, and he's taken a few knocks, but he should be okay.
Here's Tommy Welch. Ball in play, Heat stepped out. James Regan tries to get it, tries to link up with Irlatanian once again, but there is no space available. And it's got to be a Galway ball. And Irlatanian is got to be the one who will take it. Physically a very strong man, as you can see. Tough, hard competitor, but brave as well into the bargain. So Galway by 4 points, early stages of the second half. That's a good cut up, but it should favour Brian Hogan as he takes it in his stride and moves forward here, being pursued there by Joe Canning. It's still Hogan knocking it out here as far as Aidan Fogarty sets off. David Collins is in hot pursuit. Fogarty hasn't scored so far, but then nobody with the numbers 13, 14 or 15 for Kilkenny has scored so far. And this time, this ball, is it over? There's a bit of a dispute. Richie Power saying it is, but the referee is going in. One of the umpires has waved it wide, the other man wasn't sure. It stays at 110 to 9 points until referee Barry Kelly is consulted with the umpires. Now he must have had a good view of that.
And I think he's looking over to his linesman as well, who would have been directly behind the ball, and I think he's given the score, yeah.
So a score for Richie Power, his first point in this final. And now there are 3 between them, 110 to 10 points, and it's hotting up. We're just 6 minutes into the second half. James Scahill about to puck it out. This is where Galway now need plenty of steadying influences. Tommy Welsh trying to get it back. Erla Tanyan trying to get it up onto his stick. Dashing in here to try and take it is Aidan Forward. He has gone back in towards midfield. Tumbling over was Richie Hogan. Taking it away, Andy Smith. Diagonally across once again over there. Beautifully contained by David Burke. David Burke trying to make headway. Niall Burke, his namesake, trying to come onto it. And the Kilkenny defence just took control of that situation. Brian Hogan slipping the hand pass out to Michael Fennelly. They'll need a big return for Michael Fennelly if they're going to win this final, Kilkenny. Dropped there and returned and recovered by Tony O'Gregan, but helped as he was doing so by David Collins, industrious as ever. All the way down towards James Regan, trying to cut inside Kieran Joyce. Regan here, and he stepped out over the sideline, but the referee saw a push, and it's going to be a free to Galway, and that's a silly foul to give away from Kilkenny's point of view, because Regan wasn't an immediate danger, and it gives Joe Canning once again an opportunity to come across and try and stretch his own personal tally. He's got 1-6 from the first half.
Yeah, David Burke there, great diagonal ball by Andy Smith, and David Burke caught it well, but he was closed down very, very quickly. And again, this is just to put 4 points between them again now from Joe. Out in the sideline, he doesn't seem to have got any handy free, a couple of in the first half, but he's had a lot of frees from out in the line.
Real challenging angle once again confronting him. But he is a very, very prolific free taker. And as I say it, it's the curse that you put on the guy. But that was out near the sideline. Difficult one for him to take, but it's still 110 to 10 points.
Yeah, well, he spent most of the second half out around the field making long runs and covering and blocking. I prefer to see him in around the goals. We've said it before, but you know, he's our best forward. He's 100 yards out from the goals.
From that puck out by David Herity, it spills around in there, and in comes Michael Fennelly down near the goal where he scored a goal against Tip in last year's final. A real pile up of bodies there, and the referee's going to have to bring the ball out and throw it in. Richie Power, one of the last to get up there. 2 midfielders reporting for duty. Finally runs out as far as Erla Tanyan, and back into the attack Galway hope to go, but it's broken up here quickly by JJ Delaney, slipping it forward but out over the line. It was intended for Jackie Tyrrell, who's protesting that it went off a Galway stick. Line ball to the tribesmen, continue to lead in this match by 110 to 10 points. Only right at the very, very beginning of this match were they behind when Henry Shefflin got the opening point of the match. But apart from that, it's been Galway all the way.
Yeah, Jerry, I don't think I can remember seeing a Kilkenny that looks so nervous. They seem to be very jittery. JJ Delaney normally so sure in the ball, and I don't think he's got a ball in his hands since he started again.
3 times in his career as manager, Brian Cody has been beaten by Galway, including this year. Bit of a bogey team, they have been down the years. This time Paul Murphy gets it out to TJ Reid inside his own half of the field, collected well there and slipped back out by Kevin Hines out to the wing here. It was intended for Niall Donoghue to clear away, and he might do so yet, but there was a foul, and it's going to be a free to Kilkenny. Bit of nervousness at the back by Galway, but that's quite understandable. They're playing in their first final by and large.
Well, you saw the tactics there. TJ Reid played a bad ball inside there. Great covering there by Richie Power, and Neil Donoghue held his hurl. Richie Power covered a lot of ground, but you saw TJ Reid, what Galway were trying to do is sit Tony O'Gregan and Kevin Hines right back in front of the goals.
It's going to be Henry Shefflin to take it, now 33 years of age. Well, he had just as tough an angle as Joe Canning earlier on, but this time he's got it absolutely right, straight between the uprights. So Kilkenny continue to eat into Galway's lead, and it's now down to a 2-point margin. And the Kilkenny fans have travelled in their usual huge numbers. It's almost like an annual day out in September for them, up against Anthony Cunningham and Tom Helibert's team. Huge puck out, collected well once again by the very, very strongly built Paul Murphy. The Army man helped out by Richie Hogan. Up it goes towards Richie Power. Controlled by Fergal Moore, and the Galway man's stick was held. Free out to Galway. They're claiming, Henry is anyway, that he took a dive. But the referee saw it otherwise. And now he's telling Andy Smith to get away from the scene of the action. There's going to be a free. The free's been awarded. Henry is certainly fired up. If he's going to win his 9th medal on the field of play, they're going to have to do it the hard way, because Kilkenny are finding life very, very tough this afternoon, as many in Kilkenny, in particular Brian Cody and his management team, had been predicting. Here's Tony O'Grady.
Great play by Fergal Moore again. What a game he's having at cornerback for Galway.
Inside towards Canning this time, and in over his head. There was nothing he could do about it to contain that one. Well, that's a couple of times now that Tony O'Gregan has taken frees. The first one went out of play completely. This one was over the head, and this is where Joe Canning is saying that JJ was impeding him.
Yeah, well, look at that. Galway have only got 1 point in the second half. You know, they need to settle down. They've hit a few bad wides, and Kilkenny are just chipping away, and it's more that Galway aren't putting them away at this stage. Kilkenny are getting back into the game.
Back out to the industrious James Regan. Up from corner forward to midfield. Challenged here by Cyril Donnellan. Held on to somehow by JJ Delaney. Needing a bit of assistance, getting it from Kieran Joyce. Taken in by Kevin Hines this time. Out as far as Irlitanian. Back into the inside forwards. In there towards Niall Burke, who got into full forward, followed by Brian Hogan, who's done a good job on him. Out it comes once again as far as Paul Murphy. Certainly Brian Hogan has recovered after a jittery opening quarter of an hour against Niall Burke. Out of the middle of the park here, it's David Burke. Oh, that's a poor ball. Straight there as far as Kieran Joyce. Back once again it comes towards Richie Power. Sails in over his head. Across comes Johnny Cohen. Low ball in as far as Damien Hayes. Good control of the ball. Takes it away from Jackie Tyrrell. Shows pace. Shows commendable commitment. Some 11 minutes now since Galway scored, as Cyril Donnellan tries to put that right. The umpires look at it, but it's got away to the left-hand side, and it's another missed opportunity.
Yeah, well, it's a real game of cat and mouse now, Ger. What Kilkenny have done is they've dropped TJ Reid out to the middle of the field. Great catch there by Brian Hogan, but TJ Reid had been dropped out around the middle, leaving Kevin Hines loose inside, or Tony O'Gregan loose in around the full back line, and you know, at the other end of the field, then Galway have less room because of that. So it's a game of cat and mouse now, and it's anyone's game.
Galway still applying the pressure. David Burke again, foraging around midfield. Henry Shefflin's after him, so too Michael Fennelly. Still managed to get it away into a 2-man inside forward line. And again, this is taken down here by Brian Hogan, having a very good second half. Highly influential. Up towards Richie Power this time, breaks down here. It's Aidan Fogarty, and Fogarty, quick as you like, puts it over the bar for his first point in this All-Ireland hurling final. And now there's just a point between the teams. The margin back to 110 to 12 points. And that little man there, looking on as one of his idols, I'm sure, Aidan Fogarty, got his first point here from a tight enough angle, put it over the bar.
Yeah, and here's Brian Hogan again, who's really powered into the game, and Paul Murphy, I think, in particular, since half-time. But you saw there, Galway had 4 maybe to 2 over. Good knockdown by Richie Power and a good score by Aidan Fogarty. 2
Kilkenny players went for the 1 ball. This time they're under pressure, but this time they hold out, and it's JJ Delaney, the fullback, who clears it into open territory. In there as far as Owen Larkin, has a support player if he uses him. TJ Reid was just ahead of him, opted to play it inside towards Colin Fennelly, yet to score. Here's Fennelly. Johnny Cohen came across like the cavalry, coming across there in the nick of time. Out as far as Niall Donoghue. Deep into midfield. Regan there against a couple of Kilkenny players, this time supported and well hit away by David Burke. Only as far as Tommy Welch. Back around cornerback at this stage, picking up his man inside towards Richie Power. It's a 1-point game, remember. Out as far as David Collins. Up towards Damien Hayes. Fascinating contest in the second half. Out it comes to Brian Hogan. Once again, starring at centre half back. Very much the dominant figure in that line at this stage. Beautifully in as far as Henry Shefflin gets away from Hines, and Shefflin strikes it. And Shefflin's the one who puts the teams on terms. Henry Shefflin's 7th point of this match. The would-be history maker ties it up with 50 minutes gone, teams level in this All-Ireland final for the second time.
Yeah, that's a great score. You see the timing there, he just waited for that ball, brought it down and over the bar. A great score. And you know, Galway have got very negative. They've only scored 1 point, as I said earlier, in the second half. Dropping men back is fine, but Kilkenny are able to pick off scores like that from out the field. And Galway really need to drive on now. You know, they still have loads of pace, loads of power in their legs.
It's an injury to Fergal Moore. They're solid, they're durable defender here, and they could ill afford to lose him, and he's not going to be lost. He's going to get back up onto his feet immediately. Conor Cooney there is the substitute, being prepared to come on. And Cooney was the one who lost his place in the team for James Regan. Brian Cody will be delighted with the way his team have just worked their way back into this match through hard graft. The referee down there checking with his umpires.
Yeah, that's what sort of game it is. You know, it's not the highest scoring game, it's not flashy, but it's absolutely tough. Every ball has been fought for, and Tommy Walsh getting a yellow card there, obviously something off the ball with Cyril Donlan that we didn't see, and that's Tommy Walsh now and JJ Delaney both on yellow cards back there around the full back line. 4
yellow cards issued, 2 per team, as James Regan goes off. Conor Cooney comes off, remembered for his couple of early goals against Offaly in the Leinster semi-final, but the scores ran dry for him in recent matches and he lost his place. Now he's got his chance to be the hero. They'll all be heroes in Galway if they manage to win their first All-Ireland for 24 years. Kilkenny going for 2 in a row, 6 in 7 years, and the referee isn't finished just yet, having received some advice from his other officials, linesmen and umpires. And this time it's Kieran Joyce who's been called across. And just as Tommy Walsh, number 5, got a yellow card a little while ago, Barry Kelly now issuing another yellow card. So 3 of the backs have been yellow carded for Kilkenny: Delaney, Walsh and Joyce now. Still a lot of time to be played in this match. We're only 17.5 minutes into the second half. The issue is hanging in the balance in front of a crowd of just under 82,000. James Skehill playing it down. Tommy Walsh trying to come for it, wriggling his way this way and that. What a player he is, terrific player. Tommy Walsh, one of the great heroes of Kilkenny, wonderfully crafty and competitive. 9 times an All-Star, kept scoreless by Lar Corbett in the semi-final in a kind of a role reversal exercise. Free by Paul Murphy. He's had a great match. That's dangerously in there towards TJ Reid, comes right back out to Irlatanyan. Back onto the 45-metre line. Walsh lets it drop. Murphy tries to get to it. Here's the new man in, Conor Cooney, with his first touch, surrounded by Kilkenny players. Now there's an extra bit of sparkle in Kilkenny's play. That buzz which was missing at times in the first half, maybe down to nervousness, maybe just a hangover as a result of the hammering in the Leinster final. They lost by 10 points after all. But certainly now they are much more assertive and much more looking like their old selves. Yeah, the experiences maybe begin to tell. Conor Cooney there, just after coming on, thought he was going to tap it over, and Richie Hogan got back. Lovely hook, and long way out now for Henry Shefton, but he should have no problem with the distance. 2 great shooters in action here, Joe Canning and Henry Shefflin. Henry with this monster of a free. Deep inside his own half of the field. He's now got 8 points in this match. King Henry, their hero. Is he on his way to a 9th All-Ireland winners medal? Kilkenny lead by 1, and there are 54 minutes, a little over gone. James Skehill, now there's a need for a rapid response by Galway. As you've been saying, Michael, only 1 point to show for the second half so far, and that a score by Niall Burke. And here is Niall Burke, and there is a response. What a time to get it! 55 minutes gone. Niall Burke comes up with his first ever goal in the championship. It's only a second score for Galway in the second half. Well, what a timely boost it's come. Big one in, Burke followed it in, and that is a simply wonderful score. Beautifully executed. 2-10 now to 14 points, and it's Galway by 2. What a conclusion to this All-Ireland final we should get now. Richie Hogan drop hitting it inside towards Richie Power, scrambling for it there was Johnny Cohen, trying to get it out, helped by Tony O'Gregan, under enormous pressure. Power again, gets a little chip inside here. Hogan and Fogarty tries to keep the ball in, but it's knocked away in the end, out towards Damien Hayes, very near the sideline, and the linesman over there has signalled it's a line ball. Yeah, what a time, crucial time to get a goal for Galway. Not normally you'd see 2 Kilkenny backs clashing in the air. Brian Hogan was dropping back there, clashed in, and great, picked up by Niall Burke. And he's only a young player, and that's a great finish, showed great composure, low ball, no chance for David Hervey. 1-1 for him in the second half. Galway's only scores. Galway now under pressure, trying to withstand that pressure, and it's Niall Donoghue quickly back out into the middle of the field. Lots of Kilkenny players there waiting for it. Drop forward here, lost and regained. TJ Reid, and the man pursuing him is Damien Hayes. Well, they've been boosted enormously, Galway, by that goal by Niall Burke, and now they need to retain every bit of composure that they've got. They may be seeing the winning post, but it's far too early for that. It's only 56 minutes in, and they're only ahead by 2 points, and they're up against the Cats. And Henry Shefflin has this opportunity to bring it back to a 1-point game again. 8 points so far. Composes himself before striking it straight between the posts again. Give him any bit of chance whatsoever, any tiny little bit of indiscipline, and he will punish you in the form he's in right now.
Yeah, great low shot there by Niall Burke. Hurl thrown there by Paul Murphy, too lucky to escape a yellow card, because it is a yellow card for throwing the hurl. But you're just talking, Henry Shefflin has gone out centre forward after about 15-20 minutes when Kilkenny were in all sorts of trouble, and at his age and all the injuries he's had to be out there is a tribute to the man, and he's scoring everything at this stage.
He's an incredible player, and Galway right now are trying to withstand what Kilkenny are throwing at them, and it'll be Jackie Turrell who will launch the next attack, helped out here by Michael Fennelly. Deep one in towards Richie Power, brought down beautifully by Johnny Cohen. What a star, only 21 years of age, the Loughrea player. Well, he's produced some assured performances this year, and that one has got off the stick of Niall Burke. It's going to be a line ball to Kilkenny. 57.5 minutes are gone. What about this for a fetch?
That's a great catch, and that's not the main part of his game. You saw earlier on Conal Fennelly broke onto a ball, and you see the pace of Johnny Cohen. He got back and flicked the ball away, and he to me has been the biggest single influence on this Galway backline with the pace that he brings to the occasion, and very, very assured on the ball.
Richie Hogan cutting it in as far as Larkin, lost it. Tanyan takes it, gets away from Michael Fennelly, swept back down there again. Intended for Cyril Donnellan, who's taken his turn in at full forward, but it's Tommy Welch who gets there. Worked out a defence by Jackie Tyrrell. Again, judicious use of the hand, passing. Inside it comes towards Michael Fennelly, trying to go through a minefield here. Loads and loads of Galway bodies back there, helping out the half-backs and midfield, and it's worked out to David Burke, wearing number 10, back around midfield. But now as they fire it forward, there's very few players to fire it forward to. And Paul Murphy has taken it back down again. 2 or 3 Galway players go for the one ball. Regan got it out as far as Tanyan, and he was trying to play it across to Cooney. Seized on immediately there, but that slack ball might be David Collins's. Gets there first. Back to Jackie Tyrrell once again. Players must be tired and weary, but they're giving absolutely everything they've got. In towards Henry Shefflin. Breaks it to himself. Shefflin! Colin Fennelly saved! Brilliantly saved by James Scahill.
I think they're claiming lay on the ball in there. What a save by James Scahill. If Galway want to win this is the crucial moment of the game. Brilliant touchdown by Henry Shefflin, flicked it into Colin Fennelly straight away, and a brilliant save.
I thought Henry might have gone himself and tried to beat the goalkeeper.
Yeah, maybe didn't trust the legs at this stage of his life, but he gave a brilliant pass straight away to Colin Fennelly, and this is a crucial call now. Did he lie in the ball? Is it going to be a free-in, or will it be a throw-in on the 21?
Well, the referee must have had a very good view of it himself.
Well, the umpire certainly had. They were right just beside it.
Well, what's he doing? He's giving it to Kilkenny. He's saying that he lay on the ball and it's going to be a free-in.
This is huge now.
Opportunity
this is
coming
huge.
up.
We saw it in 2010, in 2009. It's a 21-yard free, yeah.
Which Henry Shefflin's going to take. Goalkeeper deemed to lay on the ball. Henry striking. He's put it over the bar. Didn't go for the goal opportunity, and so the teams are level once again. Henry Shefflin now with 10 points.
You can just see a lovely touchdown here by Henry Shefflin. Hurl thrown there again by Johnny Cohen, but what a save by James Scahill.
Any surprise that Henry didn't go for a goal there?
Well, not really. It's too tight a game. I think there's only 10 minutes to go. It's going to go right down to the wire, and
he did it at the very beginning.
I know he did, but if they go on and lose by a point, you'd be saying it afterwards. I think it was the right call.
19, Jonathan Glynn coming in, and Conor Cooney hasn't lasted very long.
It's hard on Conor Cooney, but a brave call by the management.
Back
Brian Hogan, what a second half he's had.
Yes, super. Up as far as Larkin, takes it down and then turns, and then in one striking move puts it effortlessly over the crossbar. A point in each half by the team captain, playing today in his 35th championship match. And Kilkenny respond to the goal earlier on by Niall Burke by going back into the lead.
And that's a brilliant team score. And what a second half Brian Hogan has had. He's absolutely dominated. Even though Niall Burke has scored 1-2, dominated him in the first half and broke in for the goal there, but Brian Hogan has been very influential in the second half.
1-2, however, means they've only scored 2 scores in the second half, Galway. They need more if they're to win this final. Damien Hayes back as far as Tony O'Gregan, trying to place it this time across here beautifully, and this time it's Cyril Donnellan, and he slipped, and the referee says he was aided in his slipping by being pushed by Tommy Welch, and it's going to be a free in. And a chance now for Joe Canning. This one is certainly one he needs to nail. Can't afford to miss this. It's a highly pressurised free.
Yeah, good call there, a nudge in the back, and that's, I think, a couple of puckouts have been aimed at Cyril Donnellan. You know, he's starting in very deep and running out, and he's won a few very good balls down that wing in the second half.
You've got 1-6 in the first half, Joe Canning. Nothing in the second half so far. There are only scores from Niall Burke. And this one is right over. Goal 7 for Big Joe. And it is Galway who are 2-11. Kilkenny 17 points. So 17, Joseph Cooney has come on, and it's Niall Burke who's going off.
Yeah, despite scoring 1-2, but that's the aerial, I think, dominance of Brian Hogan in the second half. Joseph Cooney is a much bigger man, and again a big call by the Galway manager.
Yes, two very big calls there in rapid succession on the part of Anthony Cunningham, Matty Kenny and Tom Hellebert. Now will they prove to be winning moves at the end of it all, because as you can see there are only now about 7.5 minutes left of the 70. Matt Ruth is on. Colin Fennelly's gone off. Here we watch Johnny Glynn, and that one is a wasted opportunity by the 19-year-old, a minor last year. Had a very, very good final last year, but stepping up to the senior final, could have done a little better there.
Yeah, he's actually switched into centre forward now on Brian Hogan, and with Joseph Cooney going out in the wing on Kieran Joyce.
From the puck out, straight down through the centre towards Henry Shefflin. Again, he does it on his own, wins that ball. What a match he's playing. Trying to get through, can't do it all on his own. However, Irlatanian blocks his path this time and tries to make some headway. And the referee saw some holding back by Kilkenny, and it's going to be a free for Galway, who, although not scoring very much in the second half, continue to be very, very competitive.
Yeah, look at Irlatanian again. How many balls has he won in that position? Just watch him there driving out with the ball. You know, he kind of lost possession, but
at one stage, Michael, a little while back, about 5, 6, 7 minutes ago, when he did get injured, I saw a signal from one of the medical people that he might not be able to continue and get his sub ready. He wasn't going to leave the field.
No, he's been in the middle of everything, but he's really read the ball very, very well. Picked up an awful lot of breaking ball, just, you know, behind, in front of his half back line and full back line.
Another big one for Joe Canning. Can he land it? The answer is yes. 1-8 for Joe Canning out of Galway's 2-12. And Galway lead the final by a point. 6 minutes to go. Is it to be Galway's 5th ever All-Ireland win, or Kilkenny's 34th? The next 6 minutes will tell the story, we think. There's already been a draw here in the minor. Dublin and Tipperary drawing. Irlatanian going forward, aware that he was going to be hooked. Tries to hold on to it somehow, being helped by Joseph Cooney, but they lose the ball to Richie Hogan, and he was fouled as he was coming out, and it's got to be a free. I see Andy Smith on the ground.
Yeah, I think after he was fouled there, he might have swung back to hurl. If you just watch here, high tackle there by Andy Smith. No, I didn't. I think it was from the tackle itself. Andy hurt himself when he went into the tackle.
I don't think that Richie Hogan caught him.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't catch him.
Swing.
But you'd have to say, you know, Irlatanian has been hugely influential. But look what's come down to at the end of the day. It's really a shootout between Joe Canning and Henry Shefflin. You know, absolutely. Henry has 10 points. Joe has 1-8. And these frees, I've often said it before, you're out in the middle of Croke Park, 80,000 people, and you're 90, 100 yards out. They're not easy, and the pressure is on all the time. And both of them are giving great displays here today.
Free coming up for Henry Shefflin. Just listen to the cheers of the rival fans here. Galway fans willing their team to get over the line at the end of the 70 minutes. Kilkenny fans so used to being at Croke Park wanting another. player who will be on next will be Davy Glennon. If he does come on for Galway, he's being readied anyway. And they've also got a number 21 being prepared to come in, and that's Tyke Harron. Henry Shefflin striking, and Henry puts it over. An immense performance by Henry Shefflin during the second half. He had 4 points from frees in the first half. He's got another 7, and it's now 2-12 for Galway, 18 points for Kilkenny, 18 points apiece. Teams level now for the 4th time.
It's been a brilliant contest, Ger. Absolutely every single ball been fiercely contested since the start of the game, and it's swung both ways, and now it looks down to the last few minutes.
Absolutely riveting, and full credit to both teams. Shame there should be a loser, but that's sport. Matt Ruth couldn't take it. Iarla Tanyan can. What a game he's put in there in the middle of the park. Again, Paul Murphy, steady as ever, brilliant as usual. Big one all the way down to Larkin, the captain, trying to get the better here of the fullback. Owen Larkin goes down. Is it a penalty? The referee is racing in there. He's waving his hands apart. It is a penalty for a foul on Owen Larkin, dramatically late in this final, with 67 minutes gone. Kilkenny have a chance here from a penalty to seal the All-Ireland, maybe. This is how it came about. Larkin going down, goalkeeper came diving out, and there was a back there as well, and James Skehill has got a yellow card for that, but there could be further trouble ahead. Usually it's Fergal Moore and Tony O'Gregan on the goal line with goalkeeper James Skehill for penalties.
Yeah, look, it was reckless by James Skehill. He dived out with the 2 feet, took the legs. I don't know if Owen Larkin was going to get control of the ball, but it's a penalty now. And in a tight game like this, there is a tendency maybe to tap it over the bar and go a point up, but I think he'll have to go for it. It's the winning of the game is in this puck.
Henry Shefflin, 61st championship match for the 33-year-old from Ballyhale. He's got 11 points in this match so far, 7 of them in the second half. The team's level at 18 points apiece, or 12 to 18 points. Henry Shefflin striking, and he's put it up high, up into the upper tier of the stand at the Davin end. He's got a 12th point, wasn't going for a goal there, wasn't taking a chance. Kilkenny by 1.
Well, I think that's a big call. You know, if he'd scored a goal, more than likely the game was over. Galway will be relieved from that, and it just shows you the tension that's out there. It's such a tight game, and big call by Henry Shefflin.
Debbie Glennon has come on, and Damien Hayes is the one who has been taken off the Galway team. Who's going to win it? Kilkenny marginally ahead. Galway still with possession here, and Iarla Tanyan up into the clouds. Back down it comes into the hand of David Burke. Fouled, free in. Chance for Joe Canning to come out and to get another one. He's got a goal in 8 so far, and his team is a point behind in the 2012 All-Ireland Hurling final. Big moment again. We've had plenty of big moments in this match. David Burke there, the ball went shooting up into the air, no great direction, but he showed bravery to go in and catch it, and he's been a consistent performer. It's been a nervous, edgy final for the fans maybe, but for those of us watching here, absolutely thrilling.
Absolutely, and a great catcher by David Burke, and high tackle by Richie Hogan, and now Joe Canning, pressure back on him.
About 50 metres out, pretty central. Can he make it? And he's put it wide. He's missed it. Big miss, huge miss. Galway behind by a point still. Kilkenny ahead by 19 points to 2-12. So very rarely do Kilkenny win finals without scoring goals.
I know, and you know, that just shows the nerves of the occasion. Joe Canning, look, he's had a great game, and to miss a free like that, and hopefully it doesn't come down to that.
3 additional minutes to be played, so we've now got 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. David Herity to puck it out. Kilkenny clinging to their 1-point lead. Galway need to get the ball back. They have it back, and it's Tony O'Gregan dishing off the hand pass to David Collins. It breaks back into the middle as far as TJ Reid, elegantly outside for Michael Fennelly, and then Henry Shefflin, who lets fly and who puts the ball away to the left-hand side and has missed the opportunity to add to his 12 points. It stays Kilkenny 19 points, Galway 2 goals and 12.
The tension is unbelievable, Gerald. I thought Michael Fennelly just should have pucked that over the bar himself, and he did the right thing, gave it to the marksman, and he pucked an easy wide as well, and there's an awful lot of tension out there at the moment.
There hasn't been a draw at a hurling final since 1959. Here's Iarla Tanyan. and Tanyan drives it away into Hill 16, but away to the right hand side of the post, and he's missed it, and that is 13 wides now for Galway, and they're shooting themselves in the foot and throwing it away. They've had a gilt-edged opportunity of winning this final. There's still a bit of time, another 2 minutes of added time to play. Out comes the puck out through David Herity.
The next score is crucial now. Shefflin again onto the
crucial.
ball.
Shefflin again masterminding this performance by Kilkenny, but he's dropped it short, and James Skehill drills it out into the middle. The referee allows play to continue as Tommy Welch went to the ground there. Cyril Donnellan was his marker. It's going to be a line ball for Galway. The manager's pacing up and down. Words of advice there from Anthony Cunningham. You see Brian Cody here pointing to his backs, get into position, close the gaps. What a match it has been. Irla Tanyan dropped in here. Murphy winning the race. Can he get it away? Out as far as Richie Hogan, ever the star. Well away from danger. Another 1 minute and 20 seconds or thereabouts to go in the final. Tanyan trying to get it back. Davy Glennon, will he be the hero? They need a score. He drives into the back to Jackie Tyrrell this time. He wins a free. And there's an opportunity as Jackie Tyrrell gets a yellow card for that. There's an opportunity once again as the managers exchange angry glances and a few words. Such is the tension of the occasion. Obviously, it's that last call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did he charge? Did he not?
Yeah, well, I think there was a ball there in the wing. Tommy Walsh attacked the ball, might have been fouled, didn't get the free in, and then David Lennon just ran into him there, and Brian Cody very, very animated, and Anthony Cunningham standing his ground, and look, that's what happens in Ireland finals.
This to tie up the All-Ireland final and take it, I imagine, to a replay. Joe Canning with a goal and 8. The pressure of the entire County Galway on his shoulders. He's got it right, he's put it over the bar! A goal and 9 for Joe Canning. After the lapses, he had the composure and the confidence to step up and to take it, and surely now to bring the match to a replay. 13 to 19 points, and the referee has blown the whistle. It's all over for the first time since 1959, when Kilkenny drew with Waterford. The match is going to go to a replay. Brian Cody, Anthony Cunningham, still with a few words there. Much of it to do with that last call, I think, but it all ends very amicably. And the two managers...
I don't know how amicable it was. Brian Cody was pointing the finger.
Smiling.
They were smiling at the end, but the tension, I don't think I've ever... It's a long time to experience tension like that at the end of a game. And I'd have to say, just from a player's point of view, a personal point of view, I'm delighted that it didn't end with Joe Canning missing a free, you know, after... He played so well over the years as well. He's been such a talisman, and to then have the composure to knock over the last point. And I think a draw is a fair result today. You can see the relief, I think, from both sets of players.
Don't forget that both matches today ended level, because Dublin's Miners drew 116 to Tipperary's 213. Anthony Cunningham there with a shake of the hands of referee Barry Kelly. Look, full credit to both teams. They gave us a marvellous match, because I know an awful lot of people who didn't give Galway any chance whatsoever, but they stormed into that match and they were full value for their lead at half-time of 5 points. They gave away a few stupid frees towards the end of the first half. Kilkenny had the better of the second half. Henry Shefflin was a leader all the way through, got 12 points in all. Galway are already in the wind down. They're already preparing for the replay. We're looking forward to it, but what a conclusion to that game.
Absolutely, and you know, it's a cliche that a draw is a fair result, but I think on the balance of play, I think Galway completely dominated the first half. They were all over Kilkenny, and Kilkenny were in big trouble. They didn't spend much time in the dressing room. They were back on the field, and then they took over. Galway struggled to score for a long time in the second half, and yet, you know, they got a goal. Niall Burke got a great finish. They made some big calls on the sideline, taking off Niall Burke, who scored 1-2, bringing on Conor Cooney, taking him off again. They're big calls in our Ireland final, and at the end of the day, I think a draw was a fair result. And Henry Shefflin had a penalty. He scored many of them over the years. He tapped it over the bar, and I think that was a big decision by him. It left Galway within a point, and at the end of the day, they got the draw, and I think they deserved it. And look at an awful lot of tension, as I say. Maybe not the highest scoring, most free-flowing game of all time, but I really enjoyed it. It was a great battle, and looking forward to the replay.
Don't forget, Michael, that Galway got just a goal and a point from play during that entire second half. They were dependent on Joe Canning to get 3 points from frees as well. replay of this match will be Sunday, the 30th of September, and that is an occasion which I know every Kilkenny and Galway hurling fans will not want to miss. They have a few weeks now to prepare for it. Who's going to be the more disappointed?
Oh, I think probably, I think Galway will be the more disappointed. I think they'll be both obviously very disappointed, but I think Galway, they're in such a great position. The huge support up here. Kilkenny have won so much, and they're a great team, but nobody outside of Kilkenny, Cork and Tip, as we discussed before the game privately, has won All Ireland since 1998. And I think since Offaly in 98. I'm not bringing that into it because of that. But look at a great occasion, the replay on the 30th of September, and look, we really look forward to that, and it'll give people 3 weeks to get a few quid back in their pockets and come back to Dublin again for the weekend.
Well, the last time there was a draw, it was 1959. Kilkenny and Waterford drew on that occasion, and Waterford, who might well have been seen as the underdogs at that stage, went and won the replay. Will Galway do something similar? Anthony Cunningham there with Matty Kenny and Tom Hellebert right in the thick of that, and having words with their charges. It has been a memorable All-Ireland final for many reasons. Yes, there were errors, but there was also a whole series of heroic performances.
Yeah, I think the lads are getting a bit off their chest there, the selectors and management, but that's worthless to the players. Their heads are full of other things now, disappointment, relief, everything else, and they're getting a great reception. And look, we have a few weeks now. We've done the All in Mayo to look forward to in a couple of weeks, and then the summer will be dragged on by another couple of weeks now, and I'm really looking forward to the replay.
A reminder then of the score at full time. It's Galway 2 goals and 13 points, Kilkenny 19 points.